Hello everyone, my name is Kumatsuhime and I am here to bring yet another guide for learning Naraka Bladepoint. I will go through everything possible so it is starter friendly, or you can get some reminders if you're returning to the game. If you're new, I'm pretty sure you've been doing something like this, and you're just getting parried all the time. While it can be good for mix-ups, it should not be generally used. You can actually cancel it with a grappling hook, which I will get into later. For now, towards the end of the video, I will show you some famous combos and some combos you can use to help you get started. But for now, let's focus on your gameplay. For now, let's start on the easy. Why can't I attack people and I always get staggered? Well, in this game, there's a mechanic called blue topping or armoring up. But before we talk about that, let's go over the basics of blue focuses. In Naraka, we have up to a 3-stage blue depending on the weapon. Weapons such as Great Sword and Full Sword can be charged up to 3 stages, while weapons like everything else can be staged up to 2. While you hold blues and you could cancel them to see your enemy's reaction if they will parry or not, you can exploit the reaction, but I will get to that shortly. But first, let's go back to what blue armoring is. Well, in Naraka, you generally want to use horizontals to start your combos, unless you're using a longsword, which has to be used by a vertical. Holding these blues grants you a 0.5 light attack, which will look like this, 0.9, which will look like this, and blues are indicated by a 1.0, 1.5, which is slightly after the tick, and a 2.0, which is on the tick. Whoever holds longer will get the upper hand with light attacks in combat, but I'm not telling you to not attack first or not throw blues. Now that we have covered blue attacks, 0.5 attacks, 0.9 attacks, charged attacks, 1.5s and 2.0s, we will now get into what is hold checking. So, what is hold checking, Komatsu? Hold checking is just charging blues to see your enemy's reaction. If the enemy parries a 1.0 and you didn't throw, you are able to throw it while they are locked in the parry animation for a free attack. Some other stuff hold checking can help with is, in fact, running away. You get them to parry, and then you can start running with dragon-like might. As grapples cannot stop you, and only blue attacks can stop you, unless you get hit by a Yodo skill or something. Another weapon that can be useful is staff. That's right. Even though it might not seem good, it can be decent. Learning and understanding parries. There are two different types of parries, the first one being quick counter, which by default is G. Most people put it to a mouse button because too many keybinds on one hand can be difficult. The second one being called composite parry, which is left and right mouse button at the same time. Both are slightly different, both still parries. At this stage of the game, both have to be nearly identical, right? I mean, this is quick counter, this is composite, quick, composite. They do have their advantages. Composite parry, as shown, when you run and just do a composite parry, you immediately stop, versus quick counter, you do not stop. This is just a small frame, but it can definitely help improve your overall gameplay knowing these two differences. Two more types of parries can be jump parry, which will pull you towards the enemy while parrying. This can be useful to parry long distance and be safe. And the second type of parry will be dodge parry, which will help you be able to dodge staff and fan focuses easier. Some weapons like katana, you can do jump LMBs, and other weapons, you might be able to hit a combo mid-parry. It is important and crucial to know when you are jumping a 2v1, you can't really throw blues. I would just spam lights if you could, or this will happen to you. The basic movement is just holding a blue while you're running, so you have to be in a running animation like this. Hold a blue, hold shift, hold a blue, hold shift, and then you can eventually go faster with it. But it does take a lot of your stamina whenever you do dodges, so just be careful. More advanced movement is if you've been doing this and you're out of stamina like I am, you will tap crouch and space at the same time and it'll make you move faster than actually running. This clip was not made by me, it was made by Longnotes. Thank you to Longnotes for letting me reuse this clip. Skill rushes are important because they can help you traverse the map easier and escape combat. You You can execute a scale rush by holding onto any object, whether if it's a roof, a ledge, anything but a tree, and just left clicking. If you're holding onto a tree, you need to hold left click until it reaches the blue stage, and then you can release. When learning or understanding scale rushes, I would start with a katana or hang sword, since those are the best scale rushing weapons. There is one more thing that you can do with scale rushing, is if you come near an edge, like a building, you can slide off of it, but that's not all. If you slide off and hold back, you will go like this. This would be really helped if you're getting chased, and then you can just scale rush away. Understanding and learning grapples. Grapples can be used in a few different ways. One of the ways I'm sure you already know is movement. But you can also use grapples in combos like so. That combo can be replicated with almost every weapon in the game. Grapples can also be used to run away. For example, if you're being chased by someone and you need to get away quickly, you throw a attack at the end of the grapple, or whenever. If they try to grapple you, it will not connect to you and stun you. You will be able to keep running. If someone isn't blue charging and they're just standing like this or throwing an attack or something, if you hit them with the grapple, the body check will always hit them and stun them because they are not healing, they are not doing their armor, or they are not blue focusing. What if I accidentally throw a grapple I didn't mean to throw? How can I cancel it? Well, you can cancel it by jumping. You can cancel it with crouching. You'll just fall down unless you spam it, then you'll go down like that. Or you can cancel it with parries. In Naraka, there are 3 different types of dodges. The first dodge being tap dodging. The second one being hold dodging. And the third one being mid dodging. Tap dodging is probably the safest yet catchable dodge. Tap dodging backwards gives you a ton of iframes to dodge blue attacks like dual blades or greatsword. I am not saying this is the only dodge you can do against dual blades or greatsword, it is just an example of how good it can be used. Next, tap dodge is the best movement dodge and gives the best availability to possibly punish your opponent. Now, the last hidden dodge you have to enable by going to the settings. Then you want to go to gameplay, you want to scroll down until you see auto run and turn that off. This enables so you can mid dodge. I will not be going over mid dodging too much in depth or rolling because both are extremely situational and both caught very easily and provides minimal iframes. Settings and optimizations. These are my personal settings for playing Naraka. You use DX11 no matter who you are normally, because 12 is too unstable. Render at 95, because I can't tell a difference between 95 and 100 honestly, so I've always just ran 95. Display mode, full screen, typically better for gaming. Resolution, just whatever your monitor resolution is. Max frame rate, if you're under or near 120, I would go unlimited, but since my monitor and my computer can run 240, I just cap at 240. Filter tender, I personally like the way tender looks. In shimmering waters, I switch between both. That's completely up to you. HDR display off because we do not use DX12. Desync off. Anti-aliasing, you can turn that off. Motion blur off. Graphics enchantment, you will have to mess around this yourself to know if it'll actually work for you. Me personally, doesn't work for me, I keep it off. NVIDIA reflex, if you have this option, I would do on plus boost. NVIDIA highlights, if you obviously had an NVIDIA card, and if you wanted to make highlights, enable it. Graphics, everything low. Me personally, I like post-processing to low, because the difference between lowest and low makes the blues pop so much more. with barely any performance drops.